as deliberately misleading or biased information, synonymous with propaganda. Misinformation, on the other hand, is defined as false information that is spread regardless of whether there is intent to mislead. Why do I bring this up? The National Police Service has recently sought to defend itself against reports that it had arrested Meru Governor Kawira Mwangaza, despite the fact that an officer on ground apologized for what he described as a case of mistaken identity. 2 days later, the police account of events that led to the deaths of 4 women and a child in the Kericho Mashujaa Day stampede raised eyebrows. Disinformation or misinformation? Let's take a look. It's said that truth is stranger than fiction, and fiction of necessity requires you suspend your disbelief. And disbelief is what greeted the police account of the events that transpired on the twilight of October the 20th at the Kericho Green Stadium on what caused the death of 5 people. The police signal reading there was a stampede caused by a lady who was selling tea outside the stadium who accidentally spilled hot tea in the fire near Gate C along the public road. As a result, members of the public panicked and mistook it to be tear gas thrown to them. An account civilians who were present and interviewed by NTV did not corroborate.
Askari aliumiza watu, alipika watu.
Mwedu ilikuwa katikati, wakaanza kufungua gate. So ilikuwa saa 9 sasa. Walianza kufungua gate, watu wakaanza kuangukiana.
Nilifika hapo saa 9 usiku, nikapata kama anawekelewa kwa ambulance. Na sikujua kama ni yeye. Sasa ile wameenda, nikamwambia askari na kwa nini hamupangishi line watu.
Just the day before, the Inspector General of Police, Japhet Kome, released a terse statement on the reported arrest of Meru Governor Kawira Mwangaza on October the 18th.
Walitangulia wakajificha pale. Si wakati tumekuta hiyo gari imejificha lakini hatukujua ya kwamba inatusubiri.
Giving this version of the events that the governor voluntarily boarded a police vehicle. He went on to quote Article 239(3) of the Constitution, which provides that the National Police Service shall not further any interest of a political party or cause or prejudice a political interest or political cause that is legitimate under the Constitution. But in this video, one of his officers appears to accept fault for her wrongful arrest.
It was just a mistaken identity.
We are in a situation where we need a democratic police that gets its legitimacy from the people and not from anyone else. And so it is the expectation of the people that the police, whenever they give public information, that information is accurate and reliable.
It was not the first time in the recent past the Inspector General of Police was defending the honor of the National Police Service after facing an onslaught in the court of public opinion on the handling of protesters earlier this year.
Senior members of the society going to mortuaries, hiring dead bodies.
The Directorate of Criminal Investigations, having in March published images of alleged protesters committing criminal acts, images that were found to be misleading, explained away as, quote, a mix-up.
The Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act criminalizes making statements to the public that are wrong or inflammatory. This law we have fought because it makes the government the arbiter of truth and has been used against journalists, against politicians. However, when state officers in the police make wrong or intentionally make inaccurate statements or they lie, shouldn't they be held to account under the same law?
Speaking of irony, these events transpiring as the police sought protection from the people's representatives. In a letter dated July 7th, 2023, IG Kome wrote to Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki, "We request that your office protect the National Police Service from these numerous summons by Parliament." Further requesting that in future his office appear on their behalf given the, quote, adverse effect on our image and service delivery to the citizenry.
When you are a force, you dictate. When you are a service, you cooperate. Now, cooperation is impossible without talking to the people and integrating the people you are supposed to be serving into your operations, into your planning, into your policies and things like that. But the police and security forces in general occupy a very interesting niche. Your watchman is invisible until the day you're robbed. You don't know they're doing a good job because their good job means nothing goes wrong.
What of the police having a de facto spokesman in Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki?
By the time the minister is speaking or the president is speaking, it should be ideally after the police have spoken, because we are a very politician-heavy news and communication-centered nation. So the police need to create their own space.
The Inspector General of Police acknowledged in his October 19th press statement in regard to Kawera's arrest that there exists a legitimate expectation of operational independence, impartiality and political neutrality in the National Police Service's role of maintaining law and order.